I want you to imagine, just for a moment, that everything you desire has already happened. Not will happen, has already happened. I want you to feel what it's like to wake up in the skin of your successful self, the one you keep postponing, the one you keep waiting for permission to become. This is no fantasy. This is a technique, a law, a principle so powerful it has created empires and moved men from rags to riches in a single generation. The truth is simple. You must act as if you've already achieved it, not because you're delusional, not because you're pretending, but because your subconscious mind only responds to certainty, to identity, to belief. It doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It responds to what you repeat, what you embody, what you expect. When you behave like a man who already owns success, the world will begin to respond as if it's true, and before long it will be. This is not about arrogance, it's about alignment. It's about becoming the version of yourself that your future demands, not someday, but now. Let me tell you what I've discovered after interviewing the wealthiest men of my generation. Every single one of them, without exception, had already seen their success in their mind's eye before it ever appeared in the physical world. They did not wait for the mansion, the wealth, the power, or the applause to feel like a success. They felt it first, and the world obeyed their inner vision. They moved differently. They thought strategically. They disciplined their emotions. And most of all, they lived as if they had already won the game, even while everyone around them still saw them as a nobody. That's what I'm asking you to do, to shift your posture, your speech, your discipline, your decisions, as if you've already made it. Not to impress the world, but to impress your own subconscious. Because once the mind is convinced, reality catches up faster than you can imagine. This is how identity is built, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. You see, we've been taught to chase success like it's something out there, a prize at the end of a race, a reward for our labor. But the men who rise, the men who reshape nations, build industries, leave legacies, they don't chase, they attract. They create conditions that magnetize success to them because success recognizes its own reflection, and that reflection must start with you. You must become the kind of person success is looking for. That means you must eliminate every behavior, every habit, every excuse, every attitude that belongs to the lesser version of you, the version that doubts, that hesitates, that negotiates with mediocrity. You must walk with the energy of certainty, not desperation. You must command the morning like a general going into battle. You must carry yourself like a man or woman who has already been chosen, already been crowned. Not by others, but by your own inner conviction. Acting as if you've already achieved it doesn't mean you ignore your problems. It means you rise above them. You respond to them from a higher place. When obstacles appear, you don't panic, because the person you've decided to become already knows how to handle them. You've rehearsed victory so many times in your mind that setbacks no longer feel fatal. They feel familiar. This is where mental toughness is forged. When you live from the identity of your next level self, you start making decisions with more clarity and less fear. You stop asking for validation. You stop seeking applause. You stop needing permission. You don't wait for motivation. You create momentum. You don't shrink when others doubt you. You grow taller in the silence. That's the power of acting as if. It's a cheat code to access your future, a bridge between who you are and who you were meant to be. Now listen closely, because this is where most people get it wrong. They think act as if means you pretend to have more money, or wear a mask of confidence, or say affirmations you don't believe. But that's not what I'm talking about. This is not about playing dress up. It's about aligning your internal world so precisely with your highest vision that you force the external world to recalibrate in response. You are not faking success. You are becoming it. You're installing new patterns, not pretending. You're showing up with higher standards, not seeking shortcuts. And that starts the very moment you decide, I will no longer move like someone who hopes to win. I will move like someone who expects to win. The world makes room for those who act like they belong, And if you don't claim your place at the table, no one will hand it to you. So here's what I want you to do right now. Stand up, straighten your spine, speak with purpose, walk with weight, look the world in the eye like a man who has nothing to prove and everything to offer. Feel what it's like to live as the man or woman who already accomplished their goals. What would they do with their time today? What would they say yes to? What would they walk away from? What habits would they refuse to carry another day? Because you can begin those choices now. Your actions are the evidence of your identity. That means you don't need to convince the world you've changed. Your discipline will speak for itself. Wake up like a millionaire even when your account is empty. Speak like a leader even when no one's following yet. Train your mind like a champion even before the medals arrive. Why? Because this is how the reality gets built. Not in the visible world first, but in the inner architecture of belief, commitment, and identity. You see, success is not the event. Success is the standard you commit to before anyone sees results. You want people to believe in you? Then act in a way that commands belief. You want to be respected? Then move with the dignity of someone who respects themselves. You want opportunity? Then carry yourself like someone who's already earned it. The world has no choice but to mirror back who you are being. And when you change your state, when you walk in certainty instead of waiting for it, that's when the doors start opening, not before. Most people live backwards. They say, when I get the job, I'll show up early. When I lose the weight, I'll respect myself. When I make the money, I'll feel successful. That's a losing formula. You have to reverse it. You must act early, act worthy, act elevated, even when you're still struggling in the shadows. Because here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, now you're ready. You must declare it for yourself. Your destiny responds to decisiveness. Your dream responds to boldness. Your life begins to shift the moment you stop waiting and start being. And when I say act as if you've already achieved it, I don't mean you ignore your current limitations. I mean you defy them. You look at the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And instead of shrinking, you rise. You rise into the man who would not tolerate another wasted morning. You rise into the woman who no longer seeks permission to speak her vision. You rise into the version of yourself that is already known, deep in your bones, as inevitable. This is not wishful thinking. This is not magical delusion. This is practical psychology. Because when you operate from your next identity, your decisions change. Your focus sharpens. Your tolerance for distraction evaporates. You begin protecting your time like a king guards his crown. You stop negotiating with procrastination. You stop explaining your worth. And you stop asking the world if it's okay to shine. This internal shift is what I call autosuggestion, training the mind to accept your new identity as fact. Hill spoke of it, champions live by it, and you must master it. You feed your mind with the image of your future self. You repeat it until it becomes real, not just in your imagination, but in your behavior. Because once the behavior changes, the results can't help but follow. Do you think the champions you admire waited for someone to hand them confidence? Number, they created it, with action, with clarity, with unshakable internal certainty. They visualized, they prepared, and then they acted as if the outcome was guaranteed. This is how your future self is built, not with hope, but with embodied conviction. When you start behaving like the person who already has what you want, you don't just change your mindset, you change your biology. Your posture shifts. Your voice carries more conviction. You begin radiating confidence instead of chasing it, and the world notices. This is where Napoleon Hill's genius becomes undeniable. He didn't tell people to wish or hope. He told them to demand, through belief, through decision, through unwavering self-command. In Think and Grow Rich, Hill wrote that the subconscious mind responds to emotionally charged repetition. That means you don't say your affirmations once and hope they work. You repeat them with intensity. You speak them like they're already true. You act like they're already done. That is what it means to act as if. And that is what it means to activate your inner power. Look at the highest performers, the athletes, the visionaries, the creators. They don't become who they are by waiting for signs. They act, speak, and train like champions before anyone gives them permission. Their belief systems are crafted like armor, reinforced every day through repetition, visualization, and decision. That's the habit. You wake up and embody who you say you are, not because the world agrees, not because you feel ready, but because it's time, because you said so. Now here's the part most people miss. Acting as if isn't about pretending. It's about aligning. Pretending is fake. Aligning is faith. You align your thoughts, words, and actions with the version of you who has already crossed the finish line. You eat like that person. You move like that person. You make decisions like that person, not in arrogance, but in absolute clarity. When Napoleon Hill said that desire backed by faith knows no such word as impossible, he wasn't giving you a nice quote. He was giving you a system, a spiritual and mental protocol to become unstoppable. Acting as if creates neural pathways in the brain that reinforce the desired identity. You're literally rewiring your brain every time you choose to show up like the future version of you. That's not fantasy. That's neuroscience. Your brain is always listening. Every thought, every gesture, every behavior, it's recording it, reinforcing it, turning it into your baseline. So if you wake up and say, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, your brain believes you. But if you say, I've got this, I was born for this, I'm on my path, and you say it with emotion, with belief, then your brain believes that instead. This is the inner war Napoleon Hill described, not between you and the world, but between you and your lower self. That lower self, the one built on fear, self-doubt, hesitation, it whispers in your ear every day. It tells you to wait, to shrink, to settle. But every time you act as if you've already achieved it, you silence that voice. You replace it with something far more powerful, self-command, not arrogance, not delusion, but discipline. The discipline to choose your identity instead of letting it be handed to you by circumstance. Hill taught us that all achievement begins with definiteness of purpose backed by burning desire and faith. Acting as if is how you show that faith. It's not enough to think about success. You must walk in it, sit in it, speak from it, because the subconscious mind doesn't respond to logic. It responds to repetition, emotion, and conviction. So if you hesitate, if you shrink, if you carry the energy of maybe or someday, you push your goals further into the future. But when you embody the energy of already done, your actions become magnetic. Opportunities start to find you. People start treating you differently. Why? Because you're no longer broadcasting uncertainty. You're broadcasting truth. A truth you chose to believe before the evidence existed. And that is how leaders are made. That is how legacies are built. By those who act as if until the world has no choice but to catch up. So if you're tired of waiting, if you're sick of being overlooked, underestimated, or ignored, then stop asking for permission and start behaving like the person you intend to become. Because here's the truth. The world doesn't respond to who you are right now. It responds to who you decide to be. So decide. Then walk it out, talk it out, breathe it in, until the vision becomes your reality. Don't just visit your dream, live there. Start speaking like the version of you who already won. Start making decisions from that future perspective. What would the successful version of you do right now? Stay in bed or get up and lead? Would they scroll endlessly or study strategy? Would they gossip, or would they guard their energy like gold? When you act from the future, you're not pretending, you're training. Training your nervous system to feel safe in success. Training your mind to expect greatness. Training your habits to reflect your vision, not your fears. This is not about fake it till you make it. That's hollow. This is about embodying the frequency of the life you're building, even before it arrives. Especially before it arrives, because your brain doesn't wait for evidence, it creates it. And when you flood it with belief, action, and alignment, you trigger a powerful chain reaction. First comes the internal shift. Then, slowly but surely, the external world reorganizes itself to match your new identity. You'll notice your standards rise. You'll walk away from distractions you once tolerated. You'll say no faster. You'll say yes louder to opportunity, to purpose, to life. Because you're no longer asking if you're worthy. You're walking in it. You're no longer hoping for change. You are the change. That's the power of acting as if. So today, ask yourself this. If I already had everything I wanted, how would I behave? Then go behave like that. Rehearse the version of you that already exists in possibility. Because the difference between those who dream and those who do is simple. The doers act like it's already theirs. And here's the truth most never hear. Reality doesn't give you what you deserve. It gives you what you're prepared for. When you act as if you've already achieved it, you're preparing your mind, body, and spirit for the weight of success. You're stepping into the arena as if you belong there, because you do. You're no longer trying to prove yourself. You're moving like someone who already knows. And guess what happens when you operate from that level of certainty? People start treating you differently. Opportunities begin to appear, decisions become clearer, your energy shifts, and the world responds, not because of magic, but because confidence is magnetic, direction is powerful, and preparation attracts reward. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the world to validate your potential. It won't. Validate yourself with action. Visualize who you're becoming, feel it, speak it, and act like it's done. Because when you walk like you've already arrived, the path forms beneath your feet. Every move you make is either casting a vote for your old identity or the new one. Make it count. Act as if you've already achieved it. And soon, you won't be acting anymore. You'll be it. The world makes way for those who dare to rise. Click the rise button now and claim the destiny waiting for you. Your time is now.